Today I'm going to explain the guitar parts matrix, which is really just something I came up with as a way to jumpstart creativity, some guiding directives to help you come up with cool guitar parts for songs. I'm Eric Haugen. Check the description box below for tabs and backing tracks on my website, information about exactly what sound tools I'm using today, live streams and more on Patreon, and my deep dive courses. It's all on my website. The first thing I always do is play something supportive, as in, reinforces something else that's already going on. So in the case of Tom Fogerty's guitar part on Susie Q, yeah, that's just kicking it right with the drums. It's a great guitar part, though. One thing I want to point out, let's look at, he only squeezes that E chord when he, on that backbeat. Repeat after me, the strumming of chords is not the boring part. If you feel that this is boring and not exciting enough, think again. There's something really important and spiritually necessary about guitar parts like this in a song. So when I'm playing something like this, which is what I spent the first 10 years of my playing, was a rhythm guitar player, I'm not bored. I'm trying to get that thing so deep in that pocket. Just right back there with the bass and drums. A disruptive part works a little bit differently. It's going to create a little bit of tension, be it rhythmically or harmonically or both. So in the case of Cranberries' Dreams, it still is a pretty simple part, but there's kind of a rhythmic syncopation to this little arpeggio figure. Because the most basic supportive part is actually what the tremolo guitar is doing. And this little rhythmic figure, which is a Bo Diddley variation, and actually he doesn't hit the root notes. He's waiting for, what's that, beat 2? Yeah. He does the same thing on the A chord, creating, harmonic and rhythmic, disruption. Because with that's going to make a major 9 chord. And then on the B, he's going to turn it into a B7. And then back out. Side note, I love the Cranberries, and especially because they have the Hogan brothers in their band, a guitar player and bass player. My last name is Haugen. All high school, everybody called me Hogan. One dude mispronounced my last name, and if you go to Metuchen, New Jersey, people still know me as Hogan. My brother plays bass too. So yeah, it was the Hogan brothers, and the Cranberries have the Hogan brothers too. The more you know. The other choice we can make is whether or not to play something sparse or something busy. And so, let's look at War on Drugs, Suffering. This is just one of my favorite little guitar parts, and it is 3 notes. Thing I always say, as an electric guitar player in a band, If you have good tone, let the tone do the work for you. And yeah, Adam Granduciel, is that how you pronounce his last name, is a great example of this. His guitar always sounds so good. And so on the record, that guitar part, well, the chords are going F, the little passing C chord and then G. Now, knowing what I know about him and the other songs I've transcribed, where he thought of this little is actually he's thinking of the G and then the G major pentatonic. The diagonal version, though, that's why when it gets that G and he lets that note hang over as it goes back to the F. But you can watch live clips of them play it. He does tend to play the full chords and then do the slide. So you could do that. I did a simpler thing where I just played, there's my F, there's my G. Kind of like that. Again, if your tone is good, you don't have to play much. Television, Marquee Moon is one of my, top 10 records. The guitar work of Richard Lloyd and Tom Verlaine together, just so freaking cool. Let's look at Tom Verlaine's part first. Upon which Richard Lloyd had the idea. I don't know how he thought of this. We'll think it through together. Let's look at the part first. Extremely busy, extremely disruptive part. Let's think about it. That's definitely coming from a G Mixolydian scale. Which, Richard Lloyd is definitely someone you think of when you think of Mixolydian. Yeah, the television definitely used that a lot. And then I guess technically it's double stops. Hammered on. And you can kind of hear that doesn't line up with the bass, that doesn't line up with the drums, that doesn't line up with Tom's part. It's its own separate hooky. It is a hooky part. It's not noodly. That's something I always shoot for. But you have Tom, Rich, and then it does go down. Tom's part when it goes down. Again, Tom is very decisive about the rhythms. He's not, you notice he's not like. No, he's very clear about what he wants. So when it goes down to that F, Richard is going, and then it's going to go up to the C, and then back around. Now the turnaround, Tom's just hitting a big D power chord. You could do it over here too. Might be there. I put it over here. Whole notes. And again, Richard is seeing this. I don't really know why he's going. Across the whole thing. Extremely jangly and disruptive. But let's think about those tones. Against a D chord. This one makes sense to do I've seen Richard Thompson do that to a D chord. That's a cool thing. The fact, though, that he tags a G up top, making it into like a big D. sus4. It's like a 13s. Again, there's no good name for it. It's just cool. Until it gets to that turnaround, and then there is a walk down. Which then, the way they record it, there's an overdub there to come back around, because you can't go. I heard the guitar come back in as an overdub. Such a great band. If you don't know Television Marquee Moon, go check out that record. I hope this video was helpful for you. Remember, listen first. That's really the most important thing when composing or being creative in a band type situation. Really listen to what everybody else is doing. It should give you some ideas of how to play something that's supportive. Reinforce the bass thing, reinforce the drum thing, or the other guitar player. And then only once that's really cooking do you start to think about, okay, well, maybe I can kind of put a little friction here, a little push and pull, kind of throw off the balance just a little bit. Thank you so much to everybody who supports me in all the ways that you do. Like, subscribe, and share. That stuff costs you nothing, and it absolutely helps us keep the lights on over here. One more time, how my business works. Patreon is where there are live seminar Q&A sessions, every backing track I've ever made, and more. That's over there. And I make comprehensive deep dive courses. Now, this video today, this would actually line up with a course I made called Next Level Rhythm. Yeah, where I talk about this stuff. As Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other. That includes yourself. Happy Friday. Eat pizza.